I just think in a general way that this shows how important it is for workers to have a voice, right? I mean, when decisions are being made by people who have never taught or who haven't taught in years uh, about teaching, right? It can definitely it can lead to problems, and it's really important to have a voice. It's really important to have contractual protection.
So what have they been asking for, and what have we been asking for in return?
I mean, aside from everyone put their teaching online in 2 days, right? That was a fairly big ask. Um, their biggest sort of contractual ask was that we would extend the notice dates. Notice dates are the dates by which people have to be told that they passed their reviews, that they have an appointment for next year, or that they're going to be laid off. And for 2, 3s, and 4s, if you miss those notice dates, there's actually a financial penalty. So they actually asked for a lot of time. They asked for 6 more weeks for L3s and 4s, and 4 more weeks for 1s and 2, which would have taken us to the end of mid to late May. And for us, that's just late May is way too late. So especially for the 1s and 2s. So in return, we identified some things our members really needed, which were, let me see if I can remember them all. It was access to some kind of disaster fund, a way to recoup their the expenses, the money they had to spend when they went online because the departments wasn't able to give them what they needed. Summer benefits for the people who will only have them if they have a fall appointment, right? If it takes longer to get a fall appointment, they should have their health insurance in the meantime. And then some form of compensation for the people whose spring summer classes have been canceled. And at least in Dearborn and Ann Arbor, we think we have a way to recoup some of the expenses. They've said no to a disaster fund because they feel like if they do that, it would have to be for all employees on campus. And they have said yes to the health insurance. They finally did that yesterday. So health insurance for people who need it for the summer. We did not get anywhere. They're very reluctant to pay people for the who lost spring summer teaching. They're still thinking about it, but
what are some of the sticking points at this point?
I feel like a general and sort of vague sticking point is that I don't think the institution understands or acknowledges just how rough this has been for everybody, right? I mean, I know, it's very easy to say we're all working really hard, but because lecturers, their student evaluations and their employment is more precarious than certainly than tenure track staff people, and also than a lot of staff members. I mean, lecturers, this has made people incredibly insecure about their jobs. And then on top of that, there's the longer term financial impacts of this, and we don't know what that looks like. We do have a financially very healthy institution overall, right?
So what are our next steps?
Keep talking, try to lift some of the stories of what people are experiencing. It's not so as easy as to just say, well, just teach online. The financial impact on people, the people who have to juggle homeschooling their kids at the same time they're working full time. There may be health issues in the home. There may be, maybe they're quarantined because they've been exposed to somebody who was positive, right? There's just, it's kind of overwhelming actually. And like we're all struggling, but I have to say I hear some really sad stories, and some people are struggling more than others. We know we need to see what we can do for international lecturers in particular, because they're in a really hard place where if they don't even know if they have a job next year and they need to leave campus because of their visas, et cetera, where does that even leave you? And then if the union decides they want to take some more collective form of action, that's coming next.
Okay. And then is there anything that individual lecturers can do right now?
Stay informed. Talk to your department if you're finding, this unmanageable. There is leaves, like you could use some of this COVID leave for partial leaves. right? The COVID leaves can be used for childcare. It can be used for care of a sick family member, etc. So, I mean, definitely talk to your department, talk to us via inquiries at leounion.org. If you just don't feel like you're getting at all what you need, talk to us if there's a real serious workload issue. I mean, we still have contract language that says that the effort assigned to a class has to be in some proportion to the work associated with that class, right? So if you're suddenly finding, especially for spring, summer, that you're being forced to, or having highly encouraged to take more students than you're comfortable taking, and that workload is just getting ridiculous. I mean, there are contractual remedies for that people should keep in mind. The contract cannot protect us against everything, right? I mean, management has the right to lay off. They have the right to terminate somebody for unsatisfactory performance, etc. But nevertheless, I've been at the university long enough. I remember what it was like before we had a contract, when just anything could happen. It's we need to protect those rights as much as we can. There's been a high level of interest in the union and what we're doing right now, and it's because people want to feel that we're in it together, which we are.
Which we are.
All by ourselves in our bedrooms. So, yeah.
Right, all by ourselves in our bedrooms. Yes. Yeah.
At our desk.
Yeah.